Can I introduce Pete Randle? Pete is the shop steward for the Coventry bin workers, the Unite branch. And I certainly hope at this meeting we will also agree to give a substantial donation from this Trades Council for the strike workers. So without further ado, Pete, do you want to tell us about your dispute and what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you first and foremost for having me, and apologies for my slight delay. I've literally just come out of a meeting that ran over, so apologies. Yeah, where did it all begin? 2019-18, we went forward for a pay rise. We was told to come back in 18 months, and if we could be patient, 2 years. We went back 3 years later after the pandemic. We thought we gave it plenty of time. Things that were going on within the world was much more serious, as you can appreciate, the pandemic. But yeah, during the pandemic, we was organising as reps, basically, what we would go forward to the director of our area. This director, by the way, is on £130,000 a year. That's his basic wage. There is add-ons. So yeah, we went forward as a union, certainly the senior representatives, and said, look, we're ready for this pay rise. Went through an evaluation process, which was, let's say, a bit of a farce back then. And he said, if you feel confident and you're not happy, go away and ballot your members. In our working area, that's a big mistake. I once remember a councillor, a leader of the council, saying, never piss the bin men off. Well, they did just that. They did just that. He thought we couldn't pull two ropes together, was his words. We went away and balloted our members on a 98.5% mandate for industrial action. So more organising went on and bigger mobilising started to happen. The momentum was there. We knew that we was going to go to industrial action for a number of reasons. We was obviously aware of other areas in the authority that also demand a pay rise. But a lot of them people wouldn't come forward for a number of reasons. First and foremost, they were scared and they didn't know what it felt like to be on a picket line. The same way a lot of individuals that are on strike now of the 73 HGV drivers felt. So we went on to carry out the mandate and carry out the action. From taking the action, the council have actually carried out defamation to every single member on that picket line. And that defamation goes along the line of, we earn £52,000. There's not one person on that picket line that earns £52,000. Firstly, I know. Secondly, I've seen it. Because to claim strike pay, you've got to produce your pay slips. Okay? I've seen them all. We've even produced pay slips to people that have come and approached us on the picket line. And again, excuse my French, calling us greedy bastards. Okay? We've armed with a pay slip at all times, everywhere we go in the community, whether it's outside of school, handing out a leaflet to the parents, explaining how greedy we really are and what our demands are. Okay? People in the city centre, people outside the council house, of which the councillors are too scared to come and talk to us. Councillors saying that they can't go into negotiations. Councillors that are walking past the picket line with their push bike can't even say hello. This is a Labour council, a Labour council. A council, well, a party, let's say, that I've voted my whole life. I'm a miner's son. I'm a miner's grandson. My family come from miners. My family were also hat makers, the female side, in the factories. Labour belonged to our core. Doesn't anymore, because once they come for me, they came for all. That's my family as well as the people on the picket that I'm sharing solidarity with. Okay, what's that say about Labour now to us on that picket line and our families? That's not Labour. Why don't they hold the same principles we hold? You know. Anyway, we've had to deal with these things where we've had bricks thrown at us, we've been spat at because we're greedy. We earn £52,000. Let's be clear, anybody that knows the grading structure within local authority, it's designed for the foot to be kept on the neck. Okay, you go nowhere. Once you're at the top of your grade that you've worked for 11 years to get to the top, and we've got people at the bottom of the grade that it's going to take them 11 years to get to the top. When they get to the top of that grade, they're going to be on lower the minimum wage in 11 years' time. Okay? The whole process is flawed in the way that it works within local authority. And of course, unless you're a manager. So we've had it tough. We've had it tough on the picket line. But our General Secretary's seen how tough it's been for us as well. That's why she's removed funding from Labour. You know, why should these people have our money when they can spread lies and manipulate the truth? Why should these people have this money from us, our subs that are funding this party? You know, and if you don't represent Labour movement and Labour values, step aside. Step aside. You know, and I can't make it any clearer than that. There's people on the picket line, including myself, that have burnt our Labour cards, that have teared them up. We've got rid of them. Okay, we don't want to be part of that movement. Labour are forgetting what its movement were, and that was based upon the trade union movement and working class people. Keir Starmer said 3 weeks ago, the little huff of Coventry like we're nothing. Okay, does he forget it's where the trade unions formed? It was the city of industry. Does he forget these things? He made it clear Labour's under new management. Well, so's Unite. So's Unite. And the sooner we disaffiliate with this party, the better, in my opinion. The better. No matter what your political view is, no working class individual should be attacked by the Labour Party. And I'll make that very clear for me and the picket line in Coventry. Yesterday, we went to a combine meeting in person over at Birmingham offices. It's clear people have had enough. Enough is enough, not just in Coventry, in London, in Nottingham, in Derby, in Cambridge. People have had enough, you know? So what we will be doing as part of a combine, when one goes, we all go. And that means in every sector of waste, if one's out on strike, they all go on strike. Okay? And it's the same within the libraries, the leisure, the care. If the care come under attack, they find it difficult, I appreciate, to go out on strike. But that don't stop us as the combine mobilising to outside their council house and calling them out for what they are, no matter what party they are. So we went into ACAS talks for a job evaluation last week on Friday. And to say we was disappointed is an understatement. We was led to believe that ACAS, a guy who is employed by ACAS and got 40 years experience in job evaluation, we thought he was running the evaluation, and we thought the evaluation was being run live. So on the Friday, we went in there, carried out the evaluation, which to our prevail wasn't being done by ACAS. The ACAS guy never even had a pen in his hand. What he did say, though, is that the process of which the authority was using was outdated, and it also didn't represent, the questions didn't represent, the job in which we carry out. One of the questions, for instance, was being about welfare. Now, as a HGV driver carrying out a reverse in a tight confined space of a 30-ton vehicle down a cul-de-sac, they asked the question, whose welfare do you have whilst you carry out your role? My response to that was the road users of Coventry, the pedestrians of which are in and around the vehicle, but also the crew activities of which are happening in front of me, behind me. I've also got the welfare of property. These vehicles can be very dangerous weapon if they want to be. And it's been evidenced again in Coventry in the past where we've had fatalities. Okay, they turned around to me and said, no, that wouldn't be your job to manage the welfare. This is more towards social care. Why are they asking me questions like that anyway if they don't want an answer to it? It shows how flawed the process is, because we score points if we get the right answers. So they took that away. So again, it was challenged around the analysis as well, because they were challenging me as the job holder, which they have no right to. They can ask me to clarify something, but never ever challenge. That's the manager's job, of which was sat in the room, which didn't challenge anything I was saying. Okay. So from this Friday evaluation, 2 days away with the evaluation, to all as we can look at here is play with it, fiddle with it, keep it down, whatever you will. Gives them enough time to do that. So by the Tuesday, they come back, we actually lost points, even though our job description had been beefed up, let's say, 3 times more than what it was, to lose points. And then the following day, they suspend me. So as a shop steward in charge of the strike, the senior representative on the strike, along with my other colleague as senior representative, yeah, they decided to suspend me. Bit of a coincidence, but yeah, I won't go too much in detail about the suspension. However, it was a bit of a coincidence as well that we was then leading at the time to our next phase of ballot, let's say, second stage to go into another 3 months of industrial action. They thought it would suppress the picket. They thought it would panic the picket, and it did panic the picket. It really did panic the picket, because what they did is get a 94.3% vote over 6 days, 4 working days. That's how much they panicked, because what they've actually done is add fuel to a burning fire that's already raging. Okay. And like I said at the beginning, this isn't just a fight for HGV drivers. This is a fight for all. We're prepared to do whatever it takes to win this, and not just win it for the drivers. If they're moaning that there's going to be an equal play claim, then pay the rate to everyone. Pay it to everyone. This council has a reserve purse of £211 million. The same council that saved £9.2 million during a pandemic year. Okay, the pandemic of which we were working through whilst they were sat at home. Okay, it's very evident who deserves the pay rise here, and it's certainly not them. So again, I thank you for hearing me out, and yeah, prepared to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Pete. And we might be a little way away from you, but our solidarity is really strong just having heard you then.